organs are missing.
Yeah.
For those purposes, so the abduction takes place, illegal adoptions as well. And yes, a sex trade as well, but especially those two things. But mostly a grooming process takes place. Get to know you, befriend you, best friend. I meet your needs, your vulnerabilities, whatever.
Yeah.
And somewhere down the line, the coin flips, and now you see the devil in disguise.
Yeah. Welcome back to the show. Kalibito ke Rasemishi Mohlala, and we are still talking about the issue of human trafficking. Kinale Hilary from ACT, and we'll be discussing some of the issues. I have some few questions. Some of them come from you, so we'll be dealing with them right now. Before we went on a break, we were talking about the difficulties that parents face with young people, and I have two questions on that. The first question is, how do parents in this age we spoke that most of these young people are actually, what's the right word? They are fished at social media. They are groomed and probably traced from social media platforms. But how do parents then parent kids who are more efficient in today's world than their parents?
Communication in parenting is always of prime importance. So any kind of relationship where there's no communication, and especially parenting, there is no relationship, because you can't have a relationship without communication. How you're going to communicate is also a key.
Okay.
So you talk to and not talk down.
All right.
So the communication channels have to be open in such a way, especially when it comes to children, teenagers, that they feel comfortable to come home and speak about issues that they are faced with.
Okay.
Any issues.
All right.
Even to the point, if a child is doing something wrong. I can give an example where I actually suggest to parents, have what you call a wild card moment.
All right. What is it?
Wild card moment is where you have a period of time within the family unit, that family, no judgment, no nothing.
Okay.
Right? You must reserve your anger and everything for another time. But allow that wild card moment, whether it's around a supper table or whatever, just that moment, for that child to know that, come out with whatever it is.
Okay.
And that moment, so let's say a child has gotten involved in a gang, or the child has stolen something. I'm going to use that scenario. Done something wrong, whatever. And that child can now come out and say, I am involved here, or, whatever is wrong. So that moment in time is the time now your parenting is tested. So no judgment, no anger then. But this is where you say to the child, right? The fact that the child has spoken out to you means that the child is reaching out for help as well. So now the solution finding comes into place. What do we do next? As parents, our first point of call is to protect. We want to hide them from all the evil in the world.
Okay.
But the worst thing you can do as a parent, especially if your child is involved in criminal activity, is to take away the responsibility and the accountability of those actions that they have from the child. So you go through it with the child, and it is wrong, but you're going to own up to your actions now.
Okay.
Whether it's going to the police station or back to that shop, even as little as, sometimes kids steal sweets, and I stole a sweet and the parents think it's funny.
Yeah.
That's stepping stone already. That child gets used to taking things without their permission, and they think it's okay.
Yeah, because of the parents,
the parent
laugh about it.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's a toddler. They get, That child's there. You not realizing in their minds, they thinking it's okay. I took the sweet without permission. So, and you thought it's something funny. Right there and then, as that little toddler, you take that child back to the shop or wait and say, my child took a sweet. Obviously, as a toddler, the child did not realize it. The child will realize growing older that there's something, this isn't right. I can't take things that don't belong to me.
In your experience, especially because today's subject is more on human trafficking, do we have, especially young people, who leave their house rather than being adopted, but who either leave the house and find themselves in trouble out there, landing themselves in the wrong hands, or literally sending themselves out there even if they are not aware, that they end up being in spaces that they didn't expect to be, but because of they were angry and they were just trying to get away from home? Are there such cases?
Yes, good children running away. You get runaways, and a lot of cases of runaways. Yes, kids are found and stuff, but you find 10 years ago, we had a case, it was a runaway. A friend, two friends ran away. But the one friend was actually a recruiter.
Oosh.
In a school.
Yeah.
One friend was a recruiter.
Yeah.
And the two ran away because now I'm fed up with mom.
My parents,
yeah, man, let's just go to Durban for the weekend. Let's run away, whatever. And they did.
But you were actually being recruited.
You were being recruited, you didn't know it.
Yeah.
Somebody picked them up. At one point now, the traffickers change hands all the time. Picked them up, got to another point into somebody else took over there. By the time when we were alerted, we obviously got involved in search and got everybody involved that needs to be involved. And when this kid was during the sightings and stuff like it, because we've got people in Durban, like I was just recently part of the 10th annual Stop Human Trafficking walk with an organization in Durban that we work. So we immediately contacted them and said, because wherever then we realized it, please have a look up, this is the girl, check the areas out. And they went and looked and the sightings took place. So already the girl was groomed, hair was cut, image changed, she was dragged out already, so we knew already. Because then obviously with the help of law enforcement, etc., we then went to media to put it out there, so that they knew whoever had her, he has now a lot of attention on this. So they don't like the attention, and they knew now, people like, so the girl was now of no use, and it was a Sunday morning, I think it was, or Monday, I stand corrected, but anyway, suddenly they were found on the beach. The two of them were found on the beach, both. But we realized the one was a recruiter through certain activities that was taking place. Actually, that one and the mom, her mom, that's how
deep
it goes, and it was friends for a long period of time.
Grooming.
So you see what I'm saying. So runaway, how dangerous it is, you don't know what. My friend is encouraging me to go to parties and things like that, and it's not within my grain.
Yeah.
And when there's that persistence with a friend saying, oh man, come man, they continuously, and they don't stop. No, we do have friends that will, when you come on, don't be away, come with me. You have that, but there's a degree to which it goes. If that friend is persistent continuously, day one, day two, you must go. It's like do or die if you don't go to this event with him. That's an alarm bell. Why? Firstly, especially my parents, I don't want to go. Or my parents don't want to go, but you're persistent. They know, so they don't care whether or not.
That's not our home lifestyle. But
or whatever. You just don't. But this person's persistent. You need to be there. Red bells.
Another one. Social media and kids. How do we deal with that?
Parents, don't close yourself off to social media. Get to know what it's about. Don't say this is a kid's thing and that is an adult thing. It's how you are going to conduct yourself on social media as an adult responsibly.
Yeah.
And use that tool responsibly. Teach our children to use it responsibility and to be alert and watch out for the red flags. So social media is a good thing if used properly and in a way that is beneficial to the person using it, and not in a negative way, in a criminal way or an abusive way.
Yeah.
So yes, it has its positives, but there are also the downsides, which is being used and social media is being exploited in that way. And obviously, we bear the brunt of it.
Yeah.
You know? So as parents get to know that there are parental blocks for children that you can put on your phones and things like that. Do put it on.
Okay.
Your child has no business watching porn. So get those things
off.
Block it, so those blocks are there. Get to know, like I said before, what is happening. You get on, look, read about it, get to know, don't close yourself off, and because it can be of benefit to you as well.
Sorry to interject there. There's this thing that parents usually say, and they say, you know, when you say your kids have no business with porn, block it. And I hear parents, I mean, we talk, and they would be like, it doesn't matter. If I block it, they are going to get it anyway. I mean, they are friends and stuff like that. And I don't know if it's just me. I feel that it does matter.
It does matter.
It's, if you lock it here, let it be then an extra work for him to make an extra effort to go and get it. It has to.
Boundaries. You know, I always go back to my late mom, my parents, and they would always say, I will not bring the street into my home.
Oh, I like that.
And that meant that basically I will not bring the street into my home. So for example, because you think you have a control over that child's drinking or drug taking or whatever it is they're doing, you don't. Turns around one day, things just get out of it, and that child says you did nothing to stop it. So where does that child's respect for you as a parent, number one, it's out the door.
Yeah.
You have encouraged something that would happen on the street. You've made it easier because you think I can contain it.
Yeah.
You can't contain it. So in my opinion, and that's what I think, your boundaries of your home, that should be, do not compromise on value systems that you have put in place, your ethics, your moral standards, and that is what's there in your home. Those things that are going to impact your child very negatively in whichever form it is, not just from a criminal perspective, whether it's drugs or whatever it is. It must not be made easy in the home.
Yes.
For that child to be accessible. So in other words, if you're doing something, yes you will, that's why communication is key, to find out what's happening. Get to know the friends, get to see where they're going, because you'll soon pick up, here's a problem. But those things that are on the street that shouldn't be happening, you don't bring it into your house. And that is where it starts, and where your safe space, your zone starts. That child knows it's right from wrong. When they step into that home zone, and whatever they're doing that's wrong there, they need to realize,
this is a different environment.
This is a different environment. Not a fearful environment, but this is home. And eventually, yes, that conflict that they will have, it will surface what they're doing. And you can address it accordingly.
Okay. Here's another question. What makes human trafficking such a difficult crime to trace?
Because the grooming phase, like I said, you groomed, it takes a long period of time. It's not like I break into your house and I steal.
Yeah.
I grab a girl and she's raped. Yes, there are abductions that happen where girls are, there are those, but most of the time it's through a grooming process. So you need to prove that it's human trafficking, firstly. And because syndicates are involved, so that also makes it also very complex. So, and it's hidden behind certain things. For example, false job offers, sporting academies, opportunities that are out there, studying opportunities. So you're getting yourself into a situation, and because of the threats that go along with it, often people don't speak out and say yes.
Okay. What do traffickers look for? Who are the most vulnerable, or what's the...
Traffickers will look for how much they can sell a human, how much money they can make out of a human being.
Okay.
That's number one. It's business, like I said earlier. Who is most vulnerable? Everybody's vulnerable. So it depends on what your vulnerability is that is exposed and that they know of. They will exploit it.
Okay.
So you in a situation, for example, take a job offer, false job offers. We know that unemployment is high. School leavers, they're looking for jobs, so they know you green behind the ears.
Yeah.
Let's put it down. Even older people, we just spoke about earlier, the issue of the caregivers going overseas, how they're being exploited. So wherever they can exploit through whichever channel it is, be through a modeling contract, through a job that's false, in any form, sex trafficking, we know that's the usual way which everybody
that's
knows.
What we know.
Illegal adoptions, organ harvesting, labor, forced labor, coming over here, working on a farm, and some people are so desperate they accept those conditions, not realize, and they actually being trafficked.
I think just one last question before we close. I don't know if this is possible, but I hear from you because you are more of an expert here more than me. Is there anything that people can do to keep themselves safe?
Yes.
Okay.
Always be alert. First of all, if you feel it's too good to be true and your first notion says that your gut, then it is. Trust your gut. That's number one.
Yeah.
Right? When you're on social medias and stuff, put on all your securities.
Okay.
If you have profiles and you have a business, have a separate profile from your business that is open.
Okay.
Keep your profiles private. Children have no business having open profiles.
Yeah.
It's like a house. We don't allow strangers into your house. Everybody just walking in and looking at everything. So treat your social media in the same way. It's your private space.
Yeah.
Treat it in that way. And don't allow anybody into that space that you don't want or don't know in that space. So that social media, for example, when it comes to the children especially, and like I spoke already about, high communication within families is very important. That's a way, because things come out to social. A lot of our social ills is because of the breakdown of family units. And I'm not talking about divorce things.
Yeah.
You can be parenting separately and still have a solid control space for children. I'm talking about creating a space for a child where that is really conducive for that child to be able to communicate and come out, and that child feels the warmth and love of their parents.
Okay.
It's a safe space.
All right.
So that's what you need to do.
So it doesn't even just take an individual, it takes everyone. Be safe, be alert.
Be safe.
Let your circle.
Don't go to places, don't meet strangers alone.
Okay.
Stranger danger does apply.
Okay.
Don't you meet somebody and say, meet me here.
Yeah.
Don't go alone to places and stuff like that. Trust your gut. Check, recheck, triple check, constantly, all the time.
Thank you very much, Hilary. It's nice of you to be here. I don't know if you can do it in like 10 seconds because I'm running out of time. Like, your contact details. How do people find you?
www.actafrica.org.za.
Yeah.
All social media platforms.
Yeah.
LinkedIn, Facebook, Awareness for Child Trafficking Africa. Do follow us on Instagram as at ACT Africa, and we're also on YouTube as Awareness for Child Trafficking Africa. Email address info@actafrica.org.za.
Wow, that was more like a tournament. You should have came number one. That was Hilary. I hope we learned a lot from this one, but all the details that she put in, also including the links for the website and the social media accounts, will be at the bottom. That is, if you get more info about this video, you'll get all of those links on the bottom. Please visit them and check what they do. They're doing an awesome work, and support as well if you can.
Thank you.
And to the channel, just subscribe and like and share to as many people as who need this kind of information. And from me, Rasemishi Mutlala, and with Hilary, we are out of here, and till next time.
God bless. Thank you.